Guys, welcome to Back the Pack. Another episode. Head or fail, bro. You're not gonna say your line now?
I like the title.
Yeah. No, fair enough,
I
bro.
like the title.
It's Aussies here. Umar as always. Yeah, what a final. I mean, for me, unexpected outcome. Yeah, I mean, it started. I mean, I really enjoyed the first innings. To be honest, I thought it was interesting because I was expecting one thing and it didn't go that way and this and that, and it was for India to get bowled out as well. I was quite shocked, really, to be honest.
See, I wasn't.
Yeah, I guess you
I,
gave Australia a lot of credit, which I think
I
I
think I
understand.
was being no disrespect to India because they've been the best team of the tournament by far, But I did say that Australia peaked late, and when they peak late, normally they go on and win tournaments. This was their what sixth World Cup now.
Yes, yeah.
So, they're not a side that sort of. It's surprising when Australia doesn't win the World Cup, and then that's the sort of.
Especially in our years as in growing up.
Yeah,
Innit?
yeah, yeah. So all the
Yeah.
years we've been watching since kids, we've always seen, Australia's always end up winning. So
Never count them out. Team to be feared.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, over the years,
99 is a good example.
well, let's not talk about
Yeah,
99, but
but yeah,
like when they had the likes of your Pontings, Gillespie's,
yeah. Gilchrist,
Gilchrist,
yeah. Wall Brothers,
Wall Brothers,
oh,
Damien Martin,
yeah.
Paul Rifle who's
Shane,
now.
don't
Who?
forget Shane.
Well, Shane was.
Shane.
You talk about Shane, you could do a whole episode on Shane.
We will.
So they were legends, and that team, um, the Aussies were known to, they were chirpy. They'd be in your ear constantly. So
Yeah, I think they invented that. Well, to a certain extent, they invented that
sledging
whole sledging and that whole kind of more aggressive
approach of
manner.
definitely.
And I can see that kind of coming back into that
It's
team,
now
innit?
it's coming back. I think if you look at the last few years of the Australian squads, you're now starting to see a bit more chirping, a bit more, a bit more sledging sort of thing. But they're friendly too. They've got some great relationships that they've
100%.
built
Yeah,
over the years with teams and
Like
certain
look at
players.
Warner in India. I mean, he's basically an Indian.
If you think about it,
The way they receive him and the way he does the
absolutely,
old,
yeah,
and all that.
the Pushpa, the
Nice.
Pushpa song.
It's nice, man. It shows how cricket is evolved, and I think it
Definitely.
shows how it can, you can become a global, phenomenon essentially.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, yeah, from this final, I don't know. I mean, the toss. We'll start with the toss.
Yeah,
Like you said, it was a gutsy choice.
yeah. Cummins coming in, and I really thought they'd try and bat first from the perspective of that's been the way to go this World Cup overall. That's what people have said. So I thought whoever wins the toss, they'll start the batting.
But in a final,
Mm.
if you you're in a final, it's a world stage. It's humongous. 9 times out of 10, teams will go if they win the toss, they'll go to bat first because it's the pressure.
Mm.
Pressure of chasing under lights, or even if it's a day game, pressure of chasing in a final, it can get to you.
Yeah.
So you've got to give Cummins credit. He
Yeah.
chose to field first.
But my man done a full investigation of the pitch,
He
innit? He
did,
had
didn't he?
the camera out.
He took a
He did
picture of the
everything.
wicket yesterday.
Yeah.
Just in case anything changes. I don't know what was going on there, but yeah, he had a good plan. But then Sharma also stated that he wanted to bat as well. So
Yeah, that was
kind
interesting. I don't know whether that was a bit of a what we've mentioned in the past that like maybe at the toss, if your captain just says, you know what, I'm happy regardless. I don't know if there's an element of that in it.
It's a very good trait to have. And we mentioned this a few episodes ago with Babar, that even if you are disappointed inside that you didn't win the toss because you wanted to do the opposite, you should always show the opposition strength, character, and have that
confidence in that you can do it. Yeah,
you're gonna do it regardless.
Yeah.
So you go give credit to Rohit Sharma, and to be honest, India overall in the tournament, phenomenal. They were the best team in my eyes.
Yeah, you could argue that. Yeah, I think. I mean, I think we've been obviously talking all day during the game. Apologies again, we didn't get to do a live stream because yeah, just the game just kind of got away from us again. And I'll be honest, it's harder to do when Bucks aren't involved. But
how did you feel about watching as a neutral fan?
Yeah, I was saying, in there, the pressure's off.
There's no
Really
pressure.
enjoyed watching just the strokes
We had
and
breakfast.
the shots.
We had a little snack in between. We had a couple of chais, a couple of coffee. It was chilled.
It was nice, but I'd rather have been in it, mate. You know what I mean? Obviously,
100%.
And you know, it just made me think back to the finals that we have played, and you know, semis and etc. And that we've attended.
Aussies have a tendency to break hearts. You know, we are definitely witnessed.
First-hand witnesses.
Yeah, we witnessed it live in the stands, in the stadiums, in ICC tournaments. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about India's batting.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, look, as always, Rohit Sharma, explosive. You know, I mean, his figures, you know, throughout the tournament have been awesome. I think we were saying that he's got, was it the most sixes?
36?
Something like that.
Something like that, you know?
Around there. And, you know, it was just, you know, same as always. And unfortunately for him, it's just his conversion rate. Because out 47, was it he got out for? And, you know, that's been a common thing.
It is. I mean, the starts that he gives to India, if he was to convert those, oh gosh, I think he'd be up there with.
And his highest score was, I think we were just having a quick overview before.
136.
Yeah. But whatever it was better than Kohli's highest score in the tournament. So I found that interesting.
I think Kohli's highest score was 117, I think.
Yeah, and we were debating, you know, who was the more impact player over this tournament. I think we'll cover this. Which we'll, you know, we will come back. We'll do an overview of the World Cup at some point, and that will be in there. But no, it was just interesting to look at that because obviously Kohli got. Oh, well, we should also mention little Kohli over here. I thought I brought him. This is part of my collection. I thought he would bring India luck maybe today. You know, follow my prediction for the win for India. But
this is brilliant.
Yeah,
you know, it's a shame they don't do Pakistan cricketers. You know,
well, he's the only one, and to be honest, there's probably
he's got the bragging rights for it.
Yeah, for that. Yeah. But you know, credit's where it's due. It was an interesting match, like I say, and you know, like I say, the argument between Rohit and Kohli for best player, I think, was valid, but it's just you can't argue the number of runs that Kohli got this.
Look, he got player of the batsman of the tournament.
Yeah,
player of the tournament. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what? He has every right to be.
I did feel like it was a bit like when I mentioned obviously during the game, like when Messi got player of the tournament after they lost, and you could see Kohli. You know, I felt bad for him, and like he was fully, and you want to see that in a top player.
Yes.
You know, Rohit smiled for the cameras, but even he was upset.
He was upset, and to be fair,
you want to see that because obviously you know they expected to, they came to win, they expected to win. The whole stadium, the whole setup was there for the win. You even mentioned obviously that you know that there was a drone show afterwards, which was very spectacular. Actually, I was very impressed.
The lights, it's really
but
nice.
It all seemed that you know, I mean,
it was set up for them.
Unsurprisingly, they were set up for an India victory in front of 125 thousand fans or whatever it was.
It should have happened.
Yeah. That's what you know. That's what the story, the fairy tale was, and unfortunately, like you say, the heartbreakers turned up. But yeah. So going back to the game, yeah, like I say, you know, Rohit explosive as always, but not much else. I feel further down the order for India.
So the thing is, if you look at throughout the tournament of India's batting, there's only been, I think, 2 occasions where India's had to actually bat deep.
Yeah, right? So versus England and it was versus Sri Lanka.
Right. So,
but even in those games,
you might have lost an early wicket. Yeah. Your next one won't be until another 100.
They kind of dropped the wickets once they got the runs.
That's right.
So it was a different scenario. So
my thing is that I feel, whether you guys agree, but the lower order hasn't had much exposure. So when it came to the point where India were like 5-6 down, or even 7 down, there was no one there to finish the innings off, give them that, you know, good ending that they needed.
Or steady the ship, really.
Or steady the
to
ship,
be honest, as in to score, because
Yeah.
there were little lulls in between,
yeah.
but they weren't scoring.
But
And
then
look,
again, I think Cooley's wicket,
that was big.
that was big
Yeah,
because you know what he's like. He'll
yeah, he could have changed the game.
start off slowly,
Match winner.
he'll finish the game off. So that was unlucky. I think Shreyas Iyer not getting runs.
Yeah,
That was a shocker. He normally is good, and Shubham Gill.
Gill, I was gonna say, yeah.
To lose him so early. There was Sharma had no one there at one point. And then obviously Sharma got out. But then even KL Rahul, like he played well.
He stuck in,
He
but
stuck in,
it
but
was
again,
slow and
he didn't finish it.
No impact. Yeah.
No, and then Surya Kumar, who, to be honest, I don't think he's had a great World Cup.
Well, we were looking at the figures, and I think his best score was 49 against England.
Yeah, and then he's got ones.
Everything else was low. Maximums were like 20s, and
there's a few ones and twos as well.
There were,
yeah. So
no, it was not a good one.
And then if you saw him batting when he was trying, he was really making like extra effort to get bat on ball.
Yeah,
and it just wasn't happening. And then he ended up it was a slow ball bouncer sort of thing, and he's tried to sort of pull it, and it's got caught behind. But yeah, I mean, today India looked deflated.
Mate, I'm telling you though, right? India looked deflated, and we'll talk about their body language in a sec, I think, because that was more apparent, I think, in the second innings.
100%.
But just before that, bro, like just from the get-go though, I don't think I remember since the days of Jonty Rhodes being that excited about fielding.
Oh, the Aussies.
I was out my seat, just in awe of at the beginning.
They saved some serious runs.
They wouldn't even let it get to the rope. But it was getting cut off in the inner circle, and I was like, mate, these were shots that should have gone,
yeah.
Right? And maybe wet outfield and all this in that second innings is also a factor because that was talked about in the commentary. But I think the big X factor that Australia had today, and also earlier in the tournament, but especially today, because that shows, we're talking about body language, that shows their intent,
the hunger,
that they were willing to put their bodies on the line for any run.
I think the Aussies showed that in the South Africa semi-final.
Yeah.
Because remember the first 10 overs, South Africa can get that ball past within the ring.
Yeah.
And normally your power play, it's called power play for a reason, because your power hitters are there and they're getting the ball through. So you're right. The Australian fielding, I mean, thing is, Australian fielding, South African fielding, I mean, even English fielding, even Indian fielding, these guys have minus Pakistan fielding because we're not really known for it. But
yeah, we had a little, like I think we mentioned before, we had a little period with with Test series.
But we had a really good South African fielding coach,
which is with the upturn.
Yeah,
and we are much better than we used to be.
Of course, but what I'm saying is,
the old days.
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is, these guys are known. They're known for great fielding efforts, but they were lightning.
I mean, I think we got to put Labuschagne, for example, in the same bracket as Jonty Rhodes.
I tell you, Labuschagne, Warner. They're electric in the field. Even Maxwell. Maxwell, he's known not just for power hitting, but he's known for some crazy catching as well. So
and that was that catch as well, isn't it? The early on.
Which one?
The Maxwell, was it Maxwell that got the catch early on? Over the head. Yeah.
No. That was Travis Head.
But that was Head again, isn't it? The main man. Sorry,
man.
Head.
Yeah, that was Travis Head, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was really, really, really good.
Also a game-changing moment.
I said to you at that point, I was like, I think this might be the catch of the decade. So I got
excited. It was good.
And you reminded me of Shahid Afridi, the 2009
New Zealand
T20 World Cup against New Zealand, and I thought, all right, okay.
That never forget that moment, bro. Especially watching it live. But let's get back to the game, like I say. So second innings, it was the Head show. He was,
but there was a scary moment for Aussies.
Yeah, so the start was...
And Cummins even said it. He said, I was pacing up and down in the dressing room thinking, oh, God, what's happening? Because his heart was racing. Because that quick little 40 for 3, I think that got him a little bit.
Early, India looked good at that point, in terms of... Because, I think I even said that, look, at the end of the day, the bowlers have been fantastic. And the ball was moving at the beginning,
was it the first ball when Warner edged it in between the second and third slips? And I thought, hang on.
Yeah.
But then that first over went for 15.
This is it.
They got
so they were getting little moments, and this is where that kind of, the game is so fickle, and especially a one-day game, that those little moments can change the game. And that going through the slips, and a few other moments after that, and yeah, Australia just had their foot on the accelerator. And then, even though they slowed down, they caught up again.
But Travis Head was lucky a few times in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
He was riding on luck for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But
But
that's
the thing
any
is,
good innings, isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
So he came through differently, and he was unlucky to get out in the end because I think he deserved to see the Aussies all the way through without losing his wicket.
Yeah.
But then Maxwell finishes it off.
Yeah, yeah. You could see he wanted to.
He wanted to. He was
come on,
eager.
and
He
you
was
can see
eager to come out to bat. But yeah, no. I think Australia controlled it once, even though they lost the three. And this is the beauty of certain teams, especially Australia, who I definitely say are heartbreakers. Even when we've played them in tournaments, we've had them, 3, 4, 5, 6 down, and you think, well, that's it, nice one. And then all of a sudden, you get a it could potentially at that time, I remember Stoinis, the Wall brothers would do it back in the day, and it's one of those things. They bat deep, they bat really deep, and they don't lose hope. That's one thing I like about them. They will choke you, and I think I'd like to say, I think they choked India at one point.
Yeah, so I was calling them the Pythons of cricket, right?
Oh, 100%,
because
100%.
I just feel like every time now, anytime they look like they're going to lose a game, you just see like they're not, the game slows down, but they're not out of it. And, it's very rare to see that they don't somehow pull off something. If not a win, then at least they get close. And like I say, in this instance, they choked India.
I think they did. But India's body language. Let's talk about their body language.
Yeah. So body language, I think we were all looking at it. I think the most G'd up person in the stadium was Ranveer Singh, which was fair enough. He's
what was that? There was that one bit when India were not in a good place, and
Bachala done a little this one.
He kept doing this and he kept doing that. And the next ball
out,
and I thought, mate, you've jinxed. You've jinxed this one.
No, listen, he's a fan.
He's a huge fan. He's a huge fan. Jokes apart,
he's a big sports fan in general.
He just loves sport.
Yeah, and so look, I get it. I've been there. We've been that guy.
But it was nice to see. I mean, it was him, Deepika, Shah Rukh Khan, Gauri Khan. There was a large number of
Vivek. We spotted a little Oberoi cameo.
Yeah.
No, it was good, man. Once again, because obviously the semi they had, I think the real stars out.
Yes,
I expected a few more actually. I'll be honest today, but it was good to see. India's always got a good following, and deservedly so. And that's the thing, but their body language on the field, going back to that, and that's what we were talking about during the game. Rohit's head went down.
Yeah.
They didn't show Kohli much. I was interested to see what he was, because he's normally the G'd up one.
Yeah.
But just generally, you could see that the last 100 runs I think Australia had. They kind of given up almost.
They did. Well, and I don't,
maybe they were praying for a miracle in that. Maybe if there had been a wicket at that point, maybe they would have upturned.
Yeah, I don't quite understand though, because
strange to see from these type of
India
these players.
don't drop heads.
You never see that.
They're normally quite. It's normally us guys. When we played, we normally
we always criticize the body language. We say, come on,
But India normally, and the thing is, once your captain drops his head, then it's a game over. And then I think it was, I'm going to say over number 30. Australia needed around about 74 runs, something like that. And then there was a animated conversation between Sharma and Kohli, which I was like, right, what's going on there? It just felt as if they both had different opinions. I felt at that point, Sharma felt it's over, but Kohli, being the fighter that he is, was trying to say, hang on, mate. We need to do X, Y, Z, because there's a chance here. Plan B.
Yeah.
And I felt Sharma didn't have a plan B. He went through a few of his bowlers. To be fair, I think Shami looked good, obviously.
Yeah.
Shami's had a good tournament, if I'm honest.
Yeah, bowler of the tournament.
I felt really, really, really sorry and sad for Mohammad Siraj, who was in tears. And I'm not saying the others don't care but he definitely,
he's an emotional player.
He was an emotional player with his
And,
World Cup, etc. I mean, KL Rahul was really upset.
Yeah.
And even Kuldeep Yadav, and it was nice to see, the other Indian players sort of putting their arms around these youngsters to, sort of be like, look, we're going to be okay.
It's not the end of the world. Listen, they'll be back.
They'll be back.
This was the great stage for them, and obviously, like we say, it was almost gonna it felt like it was leading up to the big party. But it doesn't always work that way in sports, And we've, like I said, we've been through that, and they'll be back. It won't be long.
This time too shall pass.
Yeah, of course, exactly. Very well said.
That's what I've always believed in, and I remember when Kohli went through a bad patch for those couple of years, the blue patch, and Babar Azam actually said that. He actually messaged Kohli to say, this time too shall pass.
Yeah.
And we're now saying that for Babar, and now I'm saying it for India. And to be honest, I'm not gonna, and I wouldn't, and I judge India on just that one game, because they've been the best team at the tournament.
Yeah.
They had one bad day.
Team,
and they had one bad day. And what did I say to you in the last episode? It only takes one day.
Well, it did, didn't it? In the end,
and that's all it takes. So good luck to India going forward. I think they've got a T20 series against the Aussies
again,
which I think is a bit unfair, because I think
they're going to do.
They will know, but I think both teams just need to rest now.
They should get to enjoy the moment. But like you say, there's a lot of cricket. But I guess they're using the schedule to their advantage.
I think India will go for them though.
No? Yeah. No, that's going to be 3-0. I'm predicting now. We'll be back with that one, obviously. But I reckon. One little thing, and we haven't really discussed this at length, to be honest, was interesting, the little protest that took place during the game as well.
Right.
Yeah, we had a little match interruption, which we didn't pick up, actually. I don't know whether they cut the coverage or whatever, but saw it online.
I saw that.
The pro-Palestine Aussie fan, apparently.
Yeah, his name was John.
Yeah.
He came from Australia, obviously.
Yeah.
I think Queensland, he said. And
I'll be honest, bro, and this is obviously not cricket related, and I don't want to get political on this on this podcast or anything like that, but it was interesting that it happened for me. It was a very dangerous move by the individual, because to do it in a World Cup stage, potentially it could have gone sour.
It did go sour.
Well, as in, you saw some pictures.
I saw some videos,
potential beatings that may have taken place. But
yeah. So obviously, we don't associate cricket with politics. But yeah, I mean, I think he was once he got arrested, he got taken to Ahmedabad police station, and then they welcomed him. Putting it politely. So, but look, I mean, I suppose he thought it's a world stage, the whole world's watching, because every eyes will be glued to a World Cup final, especially if India's playing.
Well, it's got the word out,
and he wanted to put the message out.
It's got the word out, and
but I don't agree. I didn't agree for him to touch any of
the players. I don't think that was necessary.
There's no need for that. But
the message is out.
The message is out.
Let's see if anything happens.
Yeah, exactly.
So, bro, that's the match. But yeah, moving on, we're gonna just cover obviously quickly. That is the Pakistan back in the pack. Pakistan updates that have taken place since, and obviously the story continues.
Yes.
So a couple of new appointments. We were right. I think you were right. In fact, he didn't quite get the chef title, but Sohail Tanveer, Chairman Junior Selection Committee.
I told you.
So
I said that little Cobra meeting that took place with those guys.
Yeah.
He hadn't got a post yet, and I thought, well, he's got to get something. So, chairman of the junior.
See what that means in the future. Mohammad Yusuf, head coach Pakistan under-19.
Happy with that.
I like that.
I like that
because we've been heard a lot, and I think Wasim made a big deal out of this on Pavilion, I think last week, about our structure in terms of development and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I want to. It's nice to see a big name player, someone who has done it on the big stage. He can hopefully coach our youngsters into
the future talent.
The team.
So that's a good shout.
So there was
one more thing, but I can't remember. There was a couple of things that have happened in the week. Wahab Riaz went to see Saima Ayub.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That could be good.
So the Pakistan Cup's going on.
So I was going to say this transitions well into my next our next point around the Pakistan
So the
Cup.
Pakistan Cup's going on.
Yes.
And Wahab Riaz turned up at the ground, and he was having a conversation with Shan Masood.
Nice.
So
yeah, hopefully because he
something.
looks like a talent.
He is an absolute talent.
I had a little time to watch while we're editing into the early hours on YouTube the innings in the semi-final. That was Shan Masood was there playing very well, and he has been in good nick. And yeah, it was good to see Saim Ayub as well because I hadn't had a chance before that. So yeah, promising.
So that was that. So yeah, you had that. You've obviously had the Pakistan Cup final today.
Yeah, so I was going to say on the topic of quickly just before you move on to that was Shan Masood unfortunately did then get injured in that game.
That was horrible.
Tactical. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I think.
I hope I wish Shan Masood.
We want to see because look, he has been on good form. I know we talked about his figures in the last episode and whatnot overall, but listen.
My only thing is, if he's injured that bad, could that potentially mean that he's out the test?
So this is the worry, isn't it? Because
then what happens?
It's not that long a gap.
Who's now taking over and stuff? So it's like the mystery continues, Does Sefi now come in?
It'll be like the new Home Secretary every week. Anyway, but a good little bit of news from that Pakistan Cup is also Iftikhar, man. Making a comeback from World Cup straight into the semi-final.
Yeah. So he flew in from India, and the next day, Peshawar, the region that he represents, were playing the semi-final.
Yeah.
And he went on and
a notable mention also I think was Haris also was
Haris
also off the plane into the game, but obviously he wasn't have.
But still, you know they've been traveling and stuff.
It's good, so, and he's taken them to victory. So it's good to see.
It's good to see. Very good to see.
I think Barber's due to play. I can't remember exactly which tournament, but he's due to play on the national domestic circuit as well. So why not? Build the game and get a bit of light onto that part of the game.
So, just talking of the national and domestic and franchise and all that, there was something I was watching on one of the Pakistani channels. They were talking about should Pakistan, as a board, only let the national team players play, obviously the PSL because that's our league. And only one more league outside, rather than where they're playing
a lot
so
of the
much.
T20s
and to be honest, it might work because they look at other teams, especially India and stuff, because they don't give any NOCs to their players, do they? They only play IPL.
But the standard is what I worry about because the standard that we have domestically, obviously, the idea is to improve the standard and by helping them play amongst the better players and whatnot. I get that, but will then our players not get to play against the other top players that they do when they go and play the 100 and whatnot?
So I think there's a couple of things to this. So you've got one, like you mentioned about us mingling with other world-class players, and you learn off each other.
Yeah.
The other thing I think is that there's another way to look at this. Our players probably can't afford to not play other cricket,
very
purely based on finances.
The money, innit? The money,
because financially other teams are stronger, and a lot of our players, especially the young ones, they rely on these leagues and stuff like that. So which is a bit sad, but that's unfortunate.
They're not alone. I mean, there's a few countries in that argument,
but we see it how it impacts and the impacts it have on players. And also I'm advocate for any team, non-English team, to come to England and play county championship, play in the domestic circuit here, because it's a different quality of cricket. And also I like the idea of the Asian countries going to play cricket in Australia, because again the bouncy pitches and there's good
conditions. Look, and there's a lot of other things.
If you think about it, Haris Rauf played in Australia, BBL. He was leading wicket taker for Melbourne, stuff like that. It taught him a lot, and it helped when the T20 World Cup happened in Australia.
Yep.
You know, so it's good. It's good. Inshallah, our players and our stars become better at their game.
Yeah, bro. I think that pretty much wraps it up. To be honest, like I say, we'll have more content coming up soon. One last thing I wanted to just bring up, which you showed me, I think, just before we started recording, was Barber's little message that he put out to congratulate the Australians. Fair enough. I don't think we need to really comment on it, but fair enough.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think there's a few things behind it, but maybe we'll focus on that in the future. So yeah, no, like I say, thanks again for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe as always. Keep engaging with us. We intend to do, obviously, going forward now that the World Cup's done, a lot of different ideas, and we'll present those as they come. But the next episode, we intend to do a little World Cup overview.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's due now.
Yeah, no, we can literally sit down, get into the nitty gritty, review Pakistan as well in that context, and I think it'll be fun.
No, it will be, and again, congratulations to Australia for playing a good game today, and unlucky to India, but India, you guys was outstanding. Your fans have been brilliant, towards your team. It's been a good World Cup. I've enjoyed it.
It has been. A lot of firsts. Like I say, we'll cover them in the overview, but a lot of firsts and a lot of records broken, and it's good, man. But yeah, like I say, please keep watching, and as always, back the pack.
Always back the pack.